Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Motorcycle Rewind, and today we go over a couple of projects that we're kind of introduce you guys to, and then kind of where we are with them, what to look forward to with what we're doing with this. This is the Honda CB350 1973 Honda CB350G because it has a front disc brake. And so I purchased this motorcycle a couple of months ago and it was completely disassembled. And so we went ahead and put it all back together. The only thing we have left to do right now, everything works except this carb is a piece of junk. Since I had such great luck with the Makuni carburetor on the CB550, that's what this guy's getting. A pair of VM28s to go on this, and that should solve my leaky carb situation. It should solve my running situation, and then we'll just button up all the last little bits that have to be done on it. It's not much. Just have to ride it, tune it, make sure everything works as is, and then we're going to send it on its way. So we'll kind of go through that. So what should be happening in the coming days, because the carb is ordered, what should be happening is we should be able to show an unboxing video of the carb kit when it comes in, installation video of it, and then the performance of it post installation so we can see what's there. We'll probably go through and tighten up the badges here, just touch up the paint around there. And that's it. So we don't have a lot left to do. New tires, everything else is good on it. Went ahead and repainted the frame. We did all that because the engine was out. I mean, it was completely 100% disassembled. I'll post some pictures of what it kind of looked like before so you guys can see. And we'll do a complete kind of walk around on that as we go. So another couple of things that are going on back here is, you know, there's always work to be done when you're trying to manage a fleet of old motorcycles. So the Honda Matic, the Honda CB400, just got to go ahead and pull off the carbs. I installed the new intake boots for that I was waiting on. I got those in, but last time we rode it, it was kind of boggy at higher RPM. So we're going to go ahead and pull it out, clean the carbs just to make sure everything's good. That's it. So that should be coming up. Probably won't show you guys that. I'll probably just knock it out. So this Yamaha 1971 Yamaha XS650 is going home today, so we're happy about that. It's a buddy of mine's. He's had it here for a while, and I did a little bit of work on it, not much. I posted those videos early. Those were early videos. He bought it at auction, and I just basically got it running for him. He said it wasn't running, so it wasn't a big deal to get it running and change the fork oil because it was missing some of that. But the main thing that we're doing right now is the Yamaha bobber, Yamaha XS650 bobber that we have. We're just about done with this. It's running. We've got the single carb 2-in-1 manifold back on it. And you guys may have seen, there's little teasers. If you follow us on Instagram at Motorcycle Rewind, you'll see some other little pictures of it. And you may have seen when I got to drag the battery charger down the driveway because I forgot to disconnect it when I was trying to get it running. You guys forgot to tell me to unhook the battery charger. Mainly what I'm doing right now is making it prettier. Making it prettier. So you can see I've got the controls off. I've got them hanging on my paint booth over here, which is, well, the Speedo's over there, but this is it. I went ahead and painted them up. They were polished aluminum, but because I put new controls over here, I went ahead and just painted them black. I'm going to pull the top triple clamp off and go ahead and paint it just to clean it up. And that's all I'm doing here, is really whatever I can do to make it look a little better. One of the things that I did, and I'll show you guys, is I've started painting the cylinder. This cylinder was originally black and it was all flaked off, so I started painting it. I've got to let this dry and we'll put another coat of paint on, bake it, run the engine, heat cycle it a couple of times. Then I'm going to go through and sand the edges of the fins just to make them silver. You know, just pull that paint off so it'll look a lot better. And basically that's all I'm doing, is going through the whole bike right now and cleaning it up, making it look better. And I'll show you guys that as we move along. So let's go ahead and get started.
Flashback.
So here we are, just touching up the engine. Again, this engine was originally painted black from the factory, and you can see just over time it's just kind of flaked off right here. It's just the cylinder and not anything else. So what I'm doing is touching it up, and what I'm using is a little engine paint from Duplicolor engine paint, some Q-tips, and I'm going at it, and I'll show you. I'm just spraying it into the cap. The cap doubles as a little reservoir to hold the paint in. So then I'm just getting it in there and then just touching it up. Again, this is the first coat. I'm going to do a couple of coats on this. Guys, I'm not doing concourse restoration. I'm trying to make this thing look better. This is going to be a rider for somebody. They're not going to get this bike and it be a full restoration and them just put it in their man cave and just look at it. This is going to be one that somebody rides. So I'm just making it look better. That's kind of what I focus on, right? I'm not an expert. I just like to, I tell people I don't restore motorcycles. I just make pretty riders, right? And this is the first coat, just getting it in there. And then what we'll do is I'll let this dry. I'll heat cycle the engine just to kind of bake it. And then I'll come on and put another coat, right? Get it in there good, all over. Now the great thing about this is you can see already it makes such a difference pretty quickly. It just cleans it up. It's like putting Armor All on your tires, right? It just cleans it up. It just makes it look a little better. I'm not so worried about getting it perfect right here on the bottom. I'm gonna clean it up after, but just trying to make it look a little better. And you can see already this side looks so much better. Just going through, and then once you heat cycle it a couple of times, you bake that paint in and then come back and put another coat, it'll be awesome. And the other thing that you can do, and I'll show you the other side what it looks like after I've got one complete coat on, but I'm just getting this on, just using these Q-tips, just getting it on all the way through. But what I like to do after is, once you get it all painted, you're finished painting it all the way through, then you can take sandpaper and just sand the edges of the fins. So you get this black and silver on the edges, so it really cleans it up. And you don't notice that it was painted with a Q-tip, right? Because all I'm doing is trying to clean it up, make it look a little better, and trying my best not to drip it all over the place to make my cleanup a little easier. But it cleans up pretty good. I'll hit it with some sandpaper, like I said, when I'm done, just to clean up that. But you can see what that looks like already. Let me take you to the other side and show you what it looks like after one complete paint. That's one coat. And that looks considerably better than if you remember what it looked like on the other side. It just makes the whole thing look cleaner. And that's all basically we're doing, is what can we do to clean this motorcycle up to make it look better. You can see I touched up the Yamaha here too, and I'm not worried about the going over because I'm going to come back and clean that up. A little Scotch-Brite, we'll take that off and it'll be perfect. Here, in fact, I'll show you really quickly. I'll just grab this, just a little Scotch-Brite, left hand. Again, how much better does that look, right? Being able to see it. That's all I'm trying to do. If I can make these look better, that's what we'll do. And little bitty things like that, like cleaning it up, you can see that once we get another coat on this, it's going to look considerably better. But guys, if we give this thing the 5-foot test, hey, that looks way better than it did before, which was this right here on this side. See right there on the bottom in the front, it looks considerably better than what it did there, even just looking here. It just cleans it up. It just makes such a difference. So tips and tricks that hopefully help you out.
End of flashback.
Okay guys, so here we're with the 650 bobber, just breaking it down so we can go ahead and paint it. And I was just thinking when I was back in the shop getting stuff that I needed to work on it out here, I remembered that this whole thing started with a zip tie. I mean, last night I was in here working on this motorcycle and I had the handlebars on and I was like, I need to clean up the cable routing, right? Need to clean up the cable routing. I went to the cabinet, got a zip tie. When I walked back, I looked at it, I said, well, I should do that. I should paint that. I should really paint the controls because they're rough. I should paint those. And it all started, this snowball heading downhill is kind of where we're at right now, which is kind of funny. So let's go ahead and get started and kind of knock out some of these things. In our primer booth, i.e. the piece of cardboard in the driveway, right? So we'll just go ahead and knock this out with it. It's a primer. The other thing I like to do is to pull the, let me get you guys here, is to pull the hardware off. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up with the Scotch-Brite and then we'll paint it off. We'll paint them separately, just so we put them back on. I know a lot of people will just paint them on. I don't like painting bolts on. I'd rather pull them off, take a little bit of time, energy, and effort to make it look a little better. So that's what we're gonna do. So let me set you up. Okay guys, looks like our paint has had time to dry. So now we're gonna go ahead and take the paint off the edges of these fins just to clean it up a little bit. So there you have it guys. I mean, that looks a whole lot better when you see it now. Guys, this is something we painted with engine paint and a Q-tip. Let's keep that in mind. Painted that with a Q-tip, and then we just came back and sanded the fins, the edges of the fins, and I think it looks great. It makes a difference. It really cleans up the engine a little bit. I still have a little bit of paint to clean up down under here. You can see I still have a little touch up I have to do right around here to get it off the case where I kind of came down a little bit. And I'll get that. I'm not worried about it right now. Well, it seems like I am. But I'll go ahead and I'll clean that up. But that looks considerably better when you look at that. It's just a neat way to kind of clean it up a little bit, make it look a little special without spending a lot of time, energy, or effort, and virtually no money. This was engine paint I had laying around. Now I still have some things I have to do. You can see, based on what I started with today, we pulled all this apart and then painted it. We painted the speedo bucket, all of this, the bottom of the triple tree we painted. Everything just got cleaned up. It just makes a big difference. I did also move, the speedo was mounted up here. I moved it down to here just to drop it down a little bit. And I think once we put the tank on it, I think you'll be able to see it. I think it does make a better difference, bringing that speedo down and the headlight down. Kind of lowers the whole stance of the bike. Let me go ahead and set you up and I'll put the tank on. Let me slip this tank on. Still have a little bit of stuff I have to do as far as cleaning up stuff under here, but I just want to show you kind of what we're working with now. Get this in here, tank on, and then now that it's really starting to come around. We'll clean up that wire. I just kind of, a little OCD in me to really take care of it and be able to see it, but that looks a lot better. You see how we brought the stance down just by moving this speedo down. It's just an inch, but it makes a difference because the whole bike seems to sit a little lower when you look at it. So it just brings everything down. The good thing about it blacking out the headlight, I mean the speedo bucket and all of this trim here, it just anchors the motorcycle. It seems to drop it down a little bit. We also painted these controls. We painted these controls again, sanded them down, primed them, put them up, even painted the lever. It just looks way better. you know, we did mask off this so it's nice and clean after. That's where, you know, it's no problem using a rattle can, right? We don't have a problem using a rattle can. It's just taking the time to prep it, taking the time to finish it, and just making a difference with it. Guys, this right here was painted with a rattle can. This was painted with Rust-Oleum paint with 2K clear on top. And if you just take the time to prep it, you can get great results, as opposed to just spray bombing everything. Yeah, I painted all the hardware. I took all these apart. I painted all the hardware separately. All of these got painted separately, just because I think it cleans it up. You know, it doesn't look like it's all stuck together. It looks like they were all powder coated. They weren't, they were just painted, right? But it makes a difference. With it being black up here, this stuff, I don't know if you guys remember what it looked like before. This is just so much cleaner. It's just so much cleaner before, and I'll post a picture right here so you can see what it looked like before, but it's so much better. So let's get to what started this whole thing off, a zip tie. Okay guys, let me get back to what exactly started this whole thing off last night. I mean, I was gonna get to doing all of this stuff eventually, but what started the whole thing off was I was like, I couldn't stand seeing this wire hanging down, and every time I'd come by, I'd push it up and it wouldn't stay. So let's go ahead and zip it and be done with it. So what started this whole thing off, I needed to change the blinker fluid, and then next thing you know, I'm rebuilding the engine. So there we go. That's just so much cleaner. The whole bike just looks, now that you see it, it just looks so much better. We're going to do an in-depth kind of walk around and first ride with this thing as soon as I finish kind of putting it up. I got to do a little bit of cleaning left to do. I'm going to pull off the front rotor and that brake. I'm going to pull that off, polish the wheels. Now, I use that term loosely. I'm going to clean the wheels. I'm not polishing the wheels. I'm going to clean up this, I'm going to clean the forks some more when I have the front wheel off. And then I'm going to clean the side cover of the case right here. Let me get you in there so you can see it. I'm going to clean the side cover of this case a little bit more. I'm not going crazy, guys. I'm doing it just enough to get by. And then I'm going to pull off this back wheel and clean it up a little bit. And I'm going to put tires on it. I got tires here, then we'll put on it. While I have the tires off, I might as well clean it up again. And so if we can do that, that'll make a big difference, just doing this. This case over here is not too bad. I'm going to do a little bit more work on it just to clean it up. Okay guys, so there you have it, our Yamaha XS650 bobber. We're going to do a video for the first ride. I didn't want to do it just yet because I need some brakes. It runs, now we got it running. It runs, clutch shifts, everything's good. Before I take it out on the road, I really want to put some brakes on it just to make sure it stops. You know, the stop goes is a whole lot more important than the go, I think. So thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Motorcycle Rewind, and do me a favor, like, tag, share, and follow us on Motorcycle Rewind, and more importantly, subscribe. Thanks again, guys, and have a great day.